Welcome back. I'm joined by Championship correspondent Pascal Lemaire to preview the final game of the season for Brentford and Wigan. Pascal, start with the away side. Relegation now confirmed after Rotherham's win the other night.
Yeah, I think it's been on the cards quite a while now, hasn't it? It's surprising for Wigan. We talked about it loads of times. They were my pick for the title at the start of the season. I don't quite know how it's gone this bad for them, because they were. You look where they were last season. They were fifth. They were in the playoffs last season. Lost to QPR in the playoff semi-finals, so they didn't get to the final. But they looked like a pretty solid outfit last season under Uwe Rosler. And now that obviously it didn't work out for them, he got sacked. Malcolm Mackay came in. He had that woeful run of form where he never picked up a win at home. Since they didn't win at home since August, they finally got one a couple of weeks back against Brighton under Gary Caldwell, who looks like he'll be able to keep the job now. I think David Sharp, the 23-year-old chairman, it's a bit crazy, that situation as well, that they've got a 23-year-old sort of in charge of the board, which is a bit bonkers really. But he's sort of come in, said to Caldwell, I think he said to Caldwell, look, we're probably going to go down this season. They sort of knew by then that they'd have to have a real good run of form and results to go their way. It hasn't happened, so he's going to give Caldwell a chance in League One next season. They've still got a lot of talent there. You look at the players sort of like James McLean, James Perch, Chris McCann, Emir Hughes. Hughes, he was fantastic on loan at Birmingham last season from Man City. Wigan, splashed the cash on him. A young Welsh player, very promising, but he's struggled with injury. He hasn't played since about, I think, January because of a serious problem. So he can come back next season, but it's just you wonder how many players they're going to keep. You look at someone like Blackpool. They're just doing a complete rebuild, basically. Lee Clark's just going to completely overhaul that squad, try and sign free agents that he thinks might be able to perform for him. But as for Wigan, Premier League side, a little over 2 seasons ago, FA Cup winners in 2013. They've still got a lot of big players on the books. I mean, you look at someone like McLean, who, for the last sort of 5-6 years, been a Premier League regular, but in the last couple of seasons, dropped down to the Championship, hasn't worked out. So I think it'd be interesting to just see how many of these sort of, not star players they've got, but certainly you'd expect them to be Championship players. How many of those sort of Championship quality players they keep in the summer, and but we're losing all the money they will going down. Certainly be an interesting summer for them. But yeah, on the whole, a woeful season as it 23rd in the table. Never really looked like getting out of it. Considering Mackay, he's a big name manager. He's got promotion before Rosler. He did well getting into the playoffs last season. So it's staggering just how wrong it's gone for them. But 23rd in the table, they've still got a chance of finishing above Millwall going into this game. But now that they're confirmed as down, it's terrible times for the club.
Moving on to Brentford, sitting just outside the playoffs in 7th, need to win and hope other teams slip after they're going to stand a chance of making it.
Yeah, they've still got a fairly decent chance of getting in. Last time out they won at Reading, much needed win for them. There were 4 games without a win going into that 2-0 win there against a Reading side who they're on a terrible run of form themselves at the moment. Alan Judge and I think James Tarkowski with the goals. It's a solid win there, and like you say, 7th in the table they are. They would have been, hoping that, Ipswich or Derby. Derby did drop points. Derby is sitting there on 77. Brentford have got 75. Ipswich there on 70. I think if they're going to leapfrog one of the sides, it's more likely to be Ipswich. You look at Derby, they play Reading, who, like I said, have been terrible recently. So you expect Derby to win there. But Ipswich go to Blackburn. That's not an easy game for Ipswich going there. So if Ipswich lose there, Brentford have to win and overturn a 3-goal difference, because they're 3 goals behind. I think they're plus 16. Ipswich are plus 19. But Brentford have scored more goals over the whole season, so if all they need to do is match Ipswich's goal difference to get into the playoffs. So if Ipswich say maybe lose by 1 or 2 goals, Brentford then win by 1 or 2 goals themselves, they've got a chance of getting in there. But it is unlikely. Mark Warburton knows that they need results to go their way, but they've got a decent chance. Ipswich certainly not favourites. I wouldn't say they're necessarily favourites against Blackburn. So Brentford, they can still reach the top 6, but even if they don't, first season back in the Championship, they got promoted last year, so they've done fantastic. Them and Wolves both got a chance of getting into the playoffs, both promoted last season. So very impressive seasons for both of them. But it's their home form of late that's sort of stopped them getting into the playoffs. They've not won any of their last 4 at home. All 3 of their last home games have ended as 2-2 draws. So that's where they've lost the key points in recent games. You want to get those points at home. But on the whole, like I said, it's been a great season for Brentford. And the whole Warburton situation has sort of deterred from how good a season it's been, because they know they're going to lose him this summer. There's going to be wholesale changes in the board, the way they run the club. So certainly it'll be an interesting summer ahead, and I'd be very surprised next season if they can match this season, because it's going to be the first season under this new regime, but might prove wrong.
Brentford need to win. Are they going to win, do you think?
Yeah, I think they have to win here, surely. Wigan, confirmed as relegated now, they're going to be completely bummed out by the whole relegation thing. There's nothing for them to play for. Brentford, everything to play for, especially the fans, the way you can check phones these days, quickly check the scores, just while you're sitting there, see all Blackburn have gone ahead against Ipswich, and then Brentford, they can race into a 2-goal lead. That's all they'll need. 1 goal win for Blackburn, 2-goal win for Brentford. That's all they'll need. So I think there's a chance that they could, go above Ipswich because I think Ipswich could definitely lose at Blackburn. I think Brentford will win 3-1.
Also going for a 3-1 Brentford win.